podcast on Tales of Transformation. Today, we have another impressive leader with us with a track record spanning for over 25 years on the international stage. Ramesh emerges as a visionary leader and a strategic CFO. His expertise has propelled renowned global MNCs, to name a few, would be FedEx, Ericsson, Volex, Inkscape, to absolutely new heights of efficiency and profitability. Not just this, he's also had a significant contribution to government entities such as the Bahrain International Circuit and Rakes, and showcasing his exceptional ability to drive success in diverse environments. Absolutely a privilege to have you here, Ramesh Subramanian. I welcome you.
Hi, Meera. How are you?
I'm doing great, Ramesh. How are you?
Very well, thank you.
So, Ramesh, I think given the fact that you've had the stage and the honor of being in multiple MNCs, government organizations, but I think one thing that really catches my eye is the fact that you've worked in 5 different countries. I'm guessing there are a lot of lessons, we can hear from you today, and I would love to dig a little bit over there and get started with that if that's okay with you.
Sure, Meera. Let me break down the lessons into personal lessons and business lessons. The personal lessons, first and foremost, in life and in business, change is a constant. Welcome change and diversity and be a change agent. Listen more, be decisive, and be the custodian of the ethical and moral compass of the organization. Very important. Have a growth mindset. Keep learning new things. Stay relevant. Here I want to underline the most important point, which is having an end-to-end view. You have to think like your boss and the board. I think once you develop that capability of thinking at the next level, you can contribute a lot more effectively. Don't run after recognition and career progression. Your contributions, collaboration, teamwork will get you whatever you need. Be a team player, team builder, promote talent, innovation, and leave a legacy. It may sound very egoistic, but I think you can define a very realistic legacy. You're a more mature organization, you're a wonderful team, develop world-class quality environments. It could be anything. And the last one is very important and close to my heart. Have a good work-life integration. I wouldn't use the word balance because you can't really balance. In everybody's career, you start off where when you start your career, you get your graduation, your post-graduations, you go into work, you're giving yourself your full time, 7/24 to the work. You're learning. So there is a lot more of work than life at that stage. And as you go on, you get married, you have family, children, your emotional intelligence component opens up. You understand what is true empathy when you have family and children as well. And then the children grow up and they go to college. So then there is a third phase, which is you really want to go back with the same level of intensity to delivering value to the organization in the role that you are. At that time, probably you will be at a CXO level. And that's where you can really bring all your experience, the learnings, as well as the maturity that your family, having children, engaging with different types of people all bring to you. And then that's where you really can self-actualize, as they call it. So what I'm talking about is it varies at different phases of your life. Phase one, when you're learning, you're giving more, you're spending more time at work. Then you have the family coming in. There you're balancing, and actually your output is better because your emotional intelligence when you have a family, children, is far more evolved, and therefore the way you deal with people is great. And then, of course, the last phase, which is your own, when you have fulfilled your responsibilities, you can really look at self-actualization and driving all kind of success for the organization you work for or setting new milestones. So I think if you look at it in this way, I think it represents work-life integration.
Very true. And I think it's so nicely put in the phases that you broke down the work-life integration. So many reflections on that aspect itself. And I think there are definitely fundamental lessons that are there over there when we're talking about the learning phase, then the whole thing about family. And I think we live in a world today where we talk a lot about balance. I think, Ramesh, that's so nicely that you've used the word as that, it's not about balance, because I think the balance itself, the scales are so skewed sometimes, like we've gone through the pandemic. I think if you would like to share some fundamental lessons from there as well, I would love to hear from you.
Balance. Work-life balance, I think, to be very honest, that could be a podcast by itself. But I think the biggest takeaway is that the evolution of your own emotional intelligence in work, and when you live in a social environment, you start understanding what empathy is. You start understanding the other person's point of view, and this is what really makes you a true leader. That growth that the work and life give you is what shapes you as a leader, because that gives you the listening skills, that gives you the ability to help others, etc. So that's again a big topic, so I wouldn't go too much into that. But
Yes.
you asked about life's lesson. I have only told about my on the personal side, but let
Yes,
me also give you some insights on the business lessons.
absolutely.
I would again look at the 30 years of learning. So one major one I would say is successful organization always have the best execution capabilities and create a culture of transparency. There is a bias for action, empowerment, and invest on talent development. Having just a mission, goal doesn't always guarantee success. The ability to deliver strategies fast, speed to market is critical. These agility of the organization are very, very important success factors. The second one is in today's fast changing business landscape, even large global organizations have to adopt a broad approach rather than a narrow approach to the market and customers. Compass versus a roadmap, right? I mean, a compass gives you a direction, broader direction, whereas a roadmap is very precise. A startup mindset and a strong connect with the customer is very important. Third, I would say is customer experience is the differentiator. That's what I've learned. It's all about customer, whether you are in a manufacturing setup, service industry, trading industry, it's finally boils down to that. Offering customized solutions, working with customers' marketing team rather than the procurement team in developing solutions for the customer. That matters. The best life lesson here I learned was in one manufacturing company in my career where I worked. We were reaching a saturation with our sales, our growth, and we decided that instead of trying to look at new markets, let's go and become strategic partners with our large customers and get real growth. And what we did was we stopped dealing only with the procurement. We sat down with our marketing and design team, business teams, and understood their pain points and started jointly developing solutions that help them. So when we adopted this approach, you can imagine the growth was huge. We didn't really have to go for volumes. It was more about going deep with each customer and really solving his problems. So that was something which opened my eye. Understanding new business models and adapt to changing market condition. This is a new trend that we all have to understand. Creation of ecosystems, platforms, clusters. This is something that every organization needs to be aware of. This is the new mantra, new formula. We have to understand if I operate as a standalone company versus be part of an ecosystem, will that give a better advantage to the customer? Can I serve my customer better? Clusters. So, for example, in any economic zone or a free zone, the thinking is instead of just saying any business come and set up a business here, we could look at clusters. We could say let's create a food cluster. So you invite yeah, major couple of major food manufacturers, and then their ecosystem of suppliers and customers will come around it. So we have done that. I've seen this happen in different phases in my career, and different industries. So this is something that I think organization has to be very aware of. The value creation is something that I have really understood in depth. It is very important that every organization keeps asking the question, what value am I creating for my customer? Am I monetizing that value? So it's also important to monetize it. It's not just one way that you create value and not monetize it. But I think that is when the shift happens from a very commoditized mindset to a more solution and a more customized mindset. And then I would say the last one is in the topic of business transformation. We're going to go into the bigger topic of digital transformation, but I want to start off with business transformation. In all the conglomerates, MNCs, and government entities that I worked, what I've learned is some of them got it right the first time, some of them got it wrong and then corrected it and evolved. But what I understood is when an organization decides to go through a business transformation process, it needs to understand that it is not just a transformation of its business model or its strategies or vision. It also means transformation of its capabilities, processes. It also involves transformation of the people, culture, mindsets. And these are three pillars: the business model and strategies, the capabilities and processes, and people, mindset, and culture. All three of these have to be addressed simultaneously through a good change management process. So big organization I worked, the global organizations, they understood the importance of doing all three simultaneously. So they got it right very early, and the benefits of the transformation came through faster. There are some slightly less mature organizations where they try to just focus on the business aspect of transformation without trying to transform the people, culture, internal processes, mindsets. That will delay their transformation. That really won't give them the speed that they want to execute. And then they go back and realize that, then they engage consultants, etc. And then the consultant comes and helps them with identifying where they are slowing down. So yeah, that's a very important learning that I wanted to share. Yeah.
That's brilliant because I think looks like the ecosystem has such a big emphasis. And even when you're explaining all about transformation, which I do want to dig into shortly, I think the ecosystem, talking about it as a new mantra, there is synergies there, which I think I would like to dig into. One is trying to understand the ecosystem, talking about transformation. Do you think in the transformation space, is there an ecosystem? I think, briefly touched upon it, how certain organizations have been more successful vis-a-vis some of them, may have not been as much, or may have taken longer to get there. So I think it's very important for us to understand that ecosystem where you've seen that in your extensive experience when you've brought in transformation. How have you seen that these global organizations versus, say, the government organizations, what has it been? Is there some real mantra like you came up with the ecosystem itself? Is there something there as well?